This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
Winning isn't everything, but it's the only thing. In our business, there is no second place. Either you're first or you're last.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for? You ready?
And now, the W with Walls and the crew.
Good morning.
Where winning isn't everything, it's the only thing. On 100.1 FM.
Good morning.
And Facebook Live.
Good morning, good morning. Right back like we never left. It's a 2022 is where we are. Happy New Year to everybody who has hung out with us for the past, 5 or 6 years. We're in a new year. Happy New Year's and happy holidays to everyone. Hope you guys made it through successfully with no COVID or anything like that. Coming over into the new year. Another Saturday morning with the W Show, talking sports and pop culture. You're listening to the W Show on 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, watching us live on one of our social media pages. We appreciate you. As always, I'm joined by the other host of the show, DJ Q, Jazz, and No. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, how y'all feeling?
Good.
Good. It is. Oh, it's cold weather already.
Yeah. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. But it seems like no matter where you go, it's cold everywhere. So it's cold
over there in
California, Denver? Cold in California, cold in Denver. Yeah, I'm in Denver, but it's cold. It's actually warmer than Kansas City, but go figure. It was 51 yesterday.
Oh man, you live in the dream.
It's something crazy going on in those mountains.
It really is. It really is. How was everyone's New Year's?
It was good, man.
Great.
Got to relax.
Good.
Same.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Coming up on today's show, we got a lot to talk about. The Kansas City Chiefs, of course, take on the Denver Broncos today for a Saturday Week 18 matchup. Go figure. Saturday afternoon. I thought Saturdays were meant for college football.
Right.
But NFL is playing today. We're going to talk about Antonio Brown's mess. Yes, I called it mess, Q. It took over the news cycle this week. And also AT&T Stadium among possible Super Bowl 56 replacement venue options. I know Nola's happy about that. A fan sues Giants and Jets and demands both teams leave New Jersey and play home games in New York City. What? And also coming up in about 30 minutes, we'll get to our sneakers of the week during our Hater Love It segment. Let's get to today's headlines.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew. And now, here are the biggest sports headlines from this week. We bring them to you every Saturday morning on the W with Walls and the crew on 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
The Kansas City Chiefs take on the Denver Broncos today for a Saturday Week 18 matchup. The final week of the regular season, the Chiefs are traveling to Colorado, and the game has been rescheduled to today. And according to DraftKings Sportsbook, Kansas City is favored by 11 points. The Chiefs are coming off of a loss last week against Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals. How are you guys feeling about today's game?
Could be a blowout. Definitely could be a blowout. The lesser starter, the lesser quarterback that they have is playing. I know Steve's gonna hate that, but I don't know if Drew Lock rises to the occasion like Joe Burrow did. I don't know how they keep up with a team that's going to be as angry as the Chiefs coming off of a loss.
Yeah, I agree, Q. I think it's going to be close early, and the reason I say that is because Drew Lock is fighting for a job. Like he was benched earlier this season, and now he started these past couple games, but he's playing for a contract. And I think, with that being said, he's going to come out guns blazing And he's probably going to play a little bit out of his mind. But, as the second half comes into play, I think, the Chiefs are gonna step it up, and the defense is going to let Drew Lock know why he should be in the NFL.
I mean, only one of these teams have something to play for. So I think that says it all about today's game. Also, Broncos have key players not even playing today. Patrick Surtain Jr. for the second. He's not playing. A couple of their cornerbacks not playing.
Oh wow!
It's just kind of like it's just shaping up to be like, all right, the Broncos, we're gonna put our young players out there, see what we got last regular season game. The Chiefs, obviously, like we said, they are angry. They let that number one seed, now we need help. So we're going to take care of our end, get these Broncos out of here. And then hopefully the Houston Texans can come up with a miracle.
And help is definitely what they need. Of course, if you guys have been on a rock, if our viewers have been on a rock, I mean, the Chiefs, of course, lost last week. And so what happened is the Tennessee Titans, they're now back in the number one spot, and they go down to play Houston tomorrow. And so the Chiefs need the Houston Texans to beat the Tennessee Titans, which they've already beat them this season already. So it could possibly happen. If not, they will remain in the second seed as long as they win today. But that's why the game is meant to be played.
I can't see Tennessee fumbling this bag like this, especially when they have Derrick Henry about to come back. They get this number one seed. It's an extra week for him to rest. I just can't see it. But the Chiefs, they should handle business today and just go into the playoffs. With momentum, I guess I'll say. I mean, they had momentum going into, last week. It was a tough loss, but, they can bounce back and then, ride that into the playoffs.
I was asking a couple of people yesterday, and I'm like, so let's just say the Chiefs get the number one seed. It's very possible that they'll play the Colts, as long as the Colts do what they need to do. And if they lose, if the Chiefs stay in the number two seed, then they'll play the winner of Raiders and the Chargers. So I'm gonna ask you guys, who would you rather face, Chargers or the Colts? Carson Wentz or Justin Herbert?
I think they would definitely rather face Carson Wentz.
I would say it's because you said it's Chargers and Colts. Which would you rather pick? It's one of those things, when you play a division rival 3 times in a year, and it always is so weird when you dominate them the whole year. I mean, not that the Chiefs dominated them, but we know that clearly the Chiefs are the better team.
Right.
It's just so weird. That third game is always so strange, when it comes to the NFL playoffs. The Colts, they are a good team. Let's not, but I really don't think the Chiefs want to play the Chargers again, if that makes sense. I think I
would agree. Had they not beat had the Chargers not beat the Chiefs earlier on in the season. So it's 1-1 now. If it was 2-0 Chiefs, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a season. Like that's within any sport. So
it's just so weird. Honestly, I'm undecided against that because the Colts aren't weak. Like let's not be crazy. The Colts aren't weak. They have, in my opinion, the MVP of the league, Jonathan Taylor. And we all know I have to be real. He's my MVP, and we all know what the formula has been for trying to beat the Chiefs is really, really tough physical defense, and ball control. And I mean, obviously Carson Wentz, he's gotten a lot of flack over the past couple of years, but actually he's been balling this year. Aside from a couple games, he's actually been playing pretty well. So the Colts aren't a pushover. So either one of those choices, it could go either way.
I'd only say just because they are split 1-1 to play another one, just so then you can clear the air and then have that momentum going forward. I would do it just for momentum. It's right. Now, NFL Insider reported that Antonio Brown was thrown off the sideline by Bucs coaches because he refused to play injured. His time with the Bucs ended when he stormed off the field during his last week's game. They reported that Brown was thrown out after saying he was too injured to play. Hugh, we'll start with you.
Yeah, I just hate how messy it's gotten. It's like the whole thing has kind of like come down to who's not telling the truth. And for me, I think it's the team that's not telling the truth. It's the coach not telling the truth. Antonio Brown was an easy target. Especially to come out and say the opposite, have a story opposite of what, he told. So yeah, it just got very messy, especially adding in viral TikToker stories and everything that went around it going into what was it? I think yesterday was the latest development. So it just got messy all around, and you hate it for a league that pretends to care about their players. And if he got a second opinion saying that he needed surgery. So just him even being hurt and playing through that, and the coach really pushing him to play through that, especially to win back-to-back Super Bowls. The story for me fits that the coaches, the coach and the team is not 100% telling the truth.
I don't know, man. I just feel like we can't give Antonio Brown the benefit of the doubt. And the reason why, there's been so many other situations outside of football. Like, you had the vaccination card, you had the him and his children's mom. He was throwing and stuff at her, and then he's calling her all kinds of names, and then not even that situation, but a totally separate woman. He threw what was it, a couch or a TV off a balcony at his condo in Florida and almost hit a little boy. So this kind of stuff just follows Antonio Brown. It really does. From team to team. He went to New England. He was in Pittsburgh. It didn't work in Tampa. It didn't work with the Raiders. So it can't be just the teams or the NFL. It has to be the individual. If you're going from different team to different team and you're having different separate situations at each team, it seems like to me that it's, it has to be him.
It's easy to dump on Antonio, Brown. It really is. And I don't feel like I want to go that direction. I think it's obvious what Steve just said. Stuff tends to follow him. I do think that the coaches and just the NFL itself is culpable just because of they allow people who tend to have issues like this, they allow them to stick around. And I think what we need to do to get better at something like this, Antonio Brown aside, is just we need to start calling this stuff by what it is, like early. Like, don't let somebody who has stuff follow them just continue to get jobs just because they're talented. He is a very talented NFL receiver. Let's not get crazy. Like, he's one of the best of all time.
Hall of Famer.
All-timer. Hall of Famer. First ballot, no question in my
Should
mind.
Should
be. He probably won't be just because of off-field issues. We've seen that happen. I hate it. I hate that. But at the same time, like, we have to start calling people on their behavior and how they treat people. I like I said, it's easy to dump on him, but he's not the only one.
On himself, though.
He did. I can't argue that. I can't argue that he didn't bring that on himself. I'm just saying that there are other people in the NFL who have exhibited similar behavior, and we have to start calling people on that. And when I say we, not we, because I think we down here, the people that, follow the NFL, like the NFL, I think we tend to call it how we see it. I think the NFL needs to step up and start hey man, like, this isn't cool, because now we've, that old saying, you give someone an inch, they take a mile. Like, now this sort of behavior it's like, all right, well, he got away with that over there. you know what? I think, you know what? I'm gonna let my crazy side come out, and I'll be okay. Like it's like I said, I'll say it again. It's easy to dump on him, but there are other players who have done similar things, and it's just like we just allow it to go on. I don't think that's okay by coaches, by management, the top of the NFL. Like I think we need to start. It starts from up top and, you know, kind of trickle on down. Like accountability has to be somewhere, has to start somewhere.
Yeah, and Steve talks about Antonio Brown's past, but then you look at the NFL's past, the recent past with race norming. You look at their not so recent past with hiding CTE. So you know, they have their history with hiding injuries and trying to minimize the things that players suffer through, especially after playing long careers. So again, it's not all on Antonio Brown and it's not all on the NFL team, but you definitely can't separate the NFL's wrongdoings if we're going to include Antonio Brown's as well.
They almost created an Antonio Brown is what I'm basically saying.
Of course.
But I feel like in his situation, knowing that he has a kind of a track record, he's not necessarily helping his case either. I can say, okay, if the injury was a thing and that's all legit, there's so many other ways you could have gone about that situation. You didn't have to take your jersey off. You didn't have to storm off. Like you could have just simply walked to the training room. You know, like do a little bit. I don't want to dump on him, but also you have to help yourself too. And I've not helped myself in this situation, so I don't have as much remorse for the situation.
He has not at all. 100%.
to me, he's like a big kid, right? When he doesn't get his way, when he doesn't get his way, you see the temper tantrum, and you don't know what kind of explosion you're gonna get. So I think that's the best way to put it. But the other on the other side of that, it's okay. Was it about the injury or was it about the incentives that for the money? So I mean that you kind of have all that stuff looming, and then of course the Bucs head coach said all the players know the real deal, and I think there'll be some stuff that'll come out. But the thing about Antonio Brown, he's going to get another shot in the NFL. There's going to be another team that's going to take him and say, hey, you know, this is you're so talented that we need, and then there could be another team that takes him this season. There was a rumor swirling that the Bucs waited so long to release him because there were a couple of playoff teams that were looking into him. So
held him hostage.
Yep. Like I said, yep. Created the monster. You know, created the monster.
Now, Hub Arkush, a Chicago sportscaster, analyst, and executive editor of Pro Football Weekly, recently disclosed to 670 The Score in Chicago that there's no way Rodgers will earn his MVP vote this season. As for why that is, well, he has his reasons. Let's hear what he had to say.
Do you have an MVP vote this year, Hub?
I do. Yeah, I'm one of the AP. There's 50 of us who vote, and I am one of us.
And did you reveal that you're not voting for Aaron Rodgers? Is that correct?
I did. Yeah. I mean, I've been pretty consistent about that all year. I don't think you can be the biggest jerk in the league and punish your team and your organization and your fan base the way he did and be the most valuable player. Has he been the most valuable on the field? Yeah, you could make that argument, but I don't think he is clearly that much more valuable than Jonathan Taylor or Cooper Kupp or maybe even Tom Brady. And so from where I sit, the rest of it is why he's not going to be my choice. Do I think he's going to win it? Probably. You know, a lot of the voters don't approach it the same way that I do. Others do, who I've spoken to. But one of the ways we get to keep being voters is we're not allowed to say who we are voting for until after the award has been announced. I'm probably pushing the envelope by saying who I'm not voting for, but we're not really supposed to reveal our votes.
Are they supposed to? Are off-field things like vaccination status supposed to factor in, or are there no guidelines for that?
There's no guidelines. We are told to pick the guy who we think is the most valuable to his team. And I don't think it says anywhere, strictly on the field. Although I do think he hurt his team on the field, by the way he acted off the field. I mean, they're going to get the number one seed anyway, but what if the difference had come down to the Chiefs game, where he lied about being vaccinated and ended up not playing and they got beat. So I think all these things should be considerations. That's the way I look at it. He ruined the entire offseason for that football team. They were left in jeopardy. They had no idea what they were doing. A lot of the off the field stuff was wasted because he wasn't there. He tortured his fan base, and he's getting ready. He's already started doing it again.
Oh, so he couldn't have won the MVP before the season for you?
For me, no. Yeah, no. I just think that the way he's carried himself is inappropriate, and the vaccine thing just was one more, log on the fire, so to speak. I think he's a bad guy, and I don't think a bad guy can be the most valuable guy at the same time.
Now, Rogers definitely had a response to that. Let's hear it.
After what you said last week about what it would mean to win your fourth MVP, what do you think of one of the 50 voters coming out and saying yesterday, quote, "I don't think you can be the biggest jerk in the league and punish your team and your organization and your fan base the way he did and be the MVP. I think he's a bad guy, and I don't think a bad guy can be the MVP at the same time."
I think he's a bum. I think he's an absolute bum. He doesn't know me. I don't know who he is. No one knew who he was probably until yesterday's comments. But I mean, and I listened to the comments, but to say he had his mind made up in the summertime, in the off season, that I had zero chance of winning MVP, in my opinion, should exclude future votes. His problem isn't with me being a bad guy or the biggest jerk in the league, because he doesn't know me. He doesn't know me. He doesn't know anything about me. I mean, I've never met him. I've never had lunch with him. I've never had an interview with him. His problem is I'm not vaccinated. So if he wants to go on a crusade and collude and come up with an extra letter to put on the award just for this season and make it the most valuable vaccinated player, then he should do that. But he's a bum, and I'm not going to waste any time worrying about that stuff. He has no idea who I am. He's never talked to me in his life. But it's unfortunate that those sentiments. It's surprising that he would even say that, to be honest.
According to Aaron Rodgers, he's a bum.
Yeah.
Lots to unpack here. Lots to unpack.
A lot.
But you look at Aaron Rodgers saying, "Oh, he doesn't know me, but I know exactly why he doesn't want me to," when he specifically expressed exactly why he's not going to vote for him. So it's just funny that Aaron Rodgers has that reply because all of it was valid. All of it was definitely valid.
Yeah, but the only thing about it is MVP is most valuable player, so it's an award for what you've done on the field. It's not. It doesn't have anything to do with what you'd have going on outside of football. But the only thing about it is if you're going to make that case for I'm talking about the writer. If he's going to make that case, then he definitely needs to keep it to himself. He doesn't need to, taint the waters by going out there and saying it, right?
Hey, Steve. So it matters for Antonio Brown off the field, but it doesn't matter for the MVP off the field. Okay.
It matters for the Antonio Brown. No, Antonio Brown's not going up for what Antonio Brown does on the field. That's totally that he's phenomenal on the field. I never talked about what he did on the field. Like it's all I've said is what he's done outside of football. Outside of football.
But for Aaron Rodgers,
they're both distractions. Yeah. They're both distractions. One is definitely, I will say, a bigger distraction. I got to keep it a buck there. Antonio Brown has been a bigger distraction as far as on the field versus an Aaron Rodgers. But they're both distractions. Let's be real. They're both distractions. Now, Cub came with some facts. He came with some facts. But I got some facts for him as well. It's just Aaron Rodgers on the field has led them to not only like you said, he missed the Kansas City game, but he's led them to what they're 12, or are they 12-4 right now, or third, whatever their record is right now. He's got 35 touchdowns and 4 interceptions on the season. I mean,
13-3.
Like 13-3. Like, so I'm just kind of like, I understand you, Hub. I feel you. I do. And I wish, like I just said, I wish the accountability, I wish it started at the top and trickled on down to, all right, everybody, all right, conduct yourself this way. But we don't live in a perfect world. And that's just not the reason Aaron Rodgers is allowed to act the way he acts is because he is arguably the greatest star of the football we've ever seen. So we understand why you don't want to vote for him for MVP, but for the 2021 NFL season, Aaron Rodgers has a great chance of winning MVP because of what he did on the field. So that's just the way it works out.
On that note,
you got to remember. You got to remember what Aaron Rodgers did. The writer, he's from Chicago. He's a native Chicagoan. You got to remember what Aaron Rodgers did when he was in Chicago and they played against the Bears earlier this season. And he ran over the sidelines and said, "I own y'all."
Big context.
So he's still a little mad about that. He's salty about that, but it is what it is.
We're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll discuss former Notre Dame women's basketball coach Whit Merrifield says ESPN is biased toward UConn. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC WeSpin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC WeSpin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC WeSpin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC WeSpin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
Tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
On to our show, use hashtag talk about it, message us, and we will talk about whatever topic you want. Former Notre Dame women's basketball coach Whit Merrifield says ESPN is biased towards UConn. The former Notre Dame women's coach said on a podcast released on Wednesday that ESPN is Connecticut's network and that there's absolutely complete bias. Let's see what all she had to say.
That UConn has outsized influence in women's basketball.
Absolutely. And I think if you read anything that Candace Parker said, I didn't make the USA team because Gino didn't like me. I don't know why, but he didn't like me and I wasn't on the team. And I think that's absolutely true. I think he totally controls who makes the team and who doesn't. I think there's an incredible bias with their players. If you recruit a kid and she's ranked 35th in the country and then she signs with UConn, the next time the poll comes out, she's 18th. I think all of their players are on some kind of a watch list right now. They have 6 players, 4 Player of the Year candidates on the the Player of the Year watch, and then we have individual players like for each position. So 6 of their players are nominated, and if you saw their game after they lost Paige, you have to wonder, do they really have 3 other Player of the Year candidates? But I think there's such a bias in the media that they just go that way. And UConn has done great things, and they've won way more than anybody else except Tennessee. And what they've done has been amazing. I think people measure their team by them. When we joined the Big East, we're like, we want to get to where they are. Like, that's what we want to be. We're trying to emulate them. But I think it goes over the top with ESPN. I think that is Connecticut's network. I mean, Notre Dame has NBC, Connecticut has ESPN, and that is absolutely complete bias there.
Now, Gino Arima fires back at Muffin McGraw and says any bias derives from Huskies' 11 national titles versus Notre Dame's 2. Noah, we'll start with you.
I mean, duh. I mean, like, nothing she said was wrong, but like, what do you expect? You said 11 national titles and 21 Final Four appearances by UConn and Gino. I mean, and where is ESPN headquartered? Where SportsCenter headquartered? In Connecticut. We can add one and one and get 2. So I mean, yeah, what do you expect? And like you said, Notre Dame has only won 2 with Muffet. I think that just speaks for itself. And I mean, also get what she's saying about the players, about, when they lost Paige and they're not looking as well as they did. I mean, who would when they lost the number 1 player in the country first? But I understand that. I understand. And then also the Candace Parker, that's a really, really good point, because I mean, obviously Candace Parker was, if not the best, the second or third best player in the world at that point. So it just, I understand where she's coming from, but yeah, we see that too. And there's not really much we can do about that. Proximity is the key here.
Yeah, it's crazy though. And I mean, Muffet is not a slouch either. I mean, she was 905 wins and 272 losses over 32 seasons. So I mean, she's definitely won her amount of games. But it just sounds like she's a little upset that she was, the I guess little sister to the big sister school, right? So it's crazy that she says it now that she's not coaching. Why didn't you say it 2 years ago before you retired? That's my thing. But she makes some good points, especially like you said, the Candace Parker deal.
Yeah, I mean, I think ESPN does pick certain teams in their sports. A lot of people can look at their Cowboys bias. Seems like the Cowboys always come up no matter how bad they are or how good they are. And there's just certain teams that that drive the numbers, and they definitely want to keep showing those teams. And you understand it. You wish there was, there was more equity across the board as far as coverage. But that's just ESPN's model.
So Jalen Hurts wants answers from Washington football team. This is crazy, man. So 2 days after FedEx Field railing collapsed, sending metal and fans tumbling to the ground at his feet, Jalen Hurts wants answers. The Philadelphia Eagles quarterback sent a letter addressed to the Washington football team and the NFL on Tuesday, calling for action to ensure that similar scenario doesn't play out again. So the incident occurred after Philadelphia's 20-16 win, as Hurts walked to the tunnel to the visiting locker room. Eagles fans, eager to congratulate Hurts, leaned against the metal barrier and fell to the ground next to Hurts after the railing collapsed. It's crazy. Washington has a lot going on right now.
They definitely have a lot going on, but definitely kudos to Jalen Hurts. That's just, it sounds like Walter Payton Man of the Year activity. And he should be, he should be a unanimous decision, especially for that, holding the team accountable.
I like Jalen.
Q, did you tweet out the Walter Payton Man of the Year? You can vote for him.
Oh yeah, I definitely tweeted out he should be Walter Payton Man of the Year, and I started the Red Hour this week saying that as well. Like he should definitely be the Walter Payton Man of the Year. There are other guys on the red team that they're trying to go for it, but he didn't hold he hasn't held any team's feet to the fire. So that sounds like Walter Payton Man of the Year activity.
I want to, what I want to say, because I like Jalen a whole lot. Kudos to him. There's not enough credit, you can give him for like turning around the Eagles franchise, it seems like. But I want to blame these fans. What possessed y'all to lean up against that railing like that to the point where you knock it over and you almost kill a cameraman? Like you almost hurt Jalen. Like you could have. What if one of those fans had accidentally tumbled into his ACL and tore it? Like y'all fans, like, come on, man. Like, it's never that serious. It's never that serious, man. You could have seriously injured a bunch of people just because, like, you can't get any closer to them. Like, you can't, like, leaning over the railing isn't going to get you any closer to him. Like, relax, take it easy.
And the reason they were leaning, because if you go to Philly Stadium, they have secured walls that the player that the fans can kind of reach over and shake hands and stuff. So you figure Washington and NFL Stadium would have the proper materials to hold fans in the stands, but they just use zip ties and things and hope people stay back.
Now,
man.
To announce new name on February 2nd won't be Wolves or Red Wolves. The
Commanders.
The Washington football team's rebranding process officially has an end date. It will announce its new name and logo February 2nd.
This is gonna be interesting. First of all, you have your stadium is collapsing. Now you want to go instead of putting money to whoever you spent money to come up with a name and new logo and all that. Y'all should have put that into y'all stadium first, right? Yeah. Branding all the way around. So it's gonna be interesting though. I'm curious to see what the name is gonna be. I'm actually anxious to see as well, because it's been time. And so I think they had some input from some fans as well to be able to, rename the team. So can't wait to see it.
I just know it's going to be terrible.
So?
Usually when teams change names, it's going to be terrible. Like, what's a Pelican?
Q, that's so funny, because that's literally the first name that came to my mind was the Pelicans. I was like, y'all went from, but I'll say this as a person who's, been a human who's been on Earth and seen many rebrands and changes of names. What is a Hornet? I mean, what these names?
Actual like.
We know what a Pelican is. We know what a Pelican, but this is a name of a basketball team. The Hornets. That's who y'all chose.
It's about ferocity, and we pick a bird.
I mean, I ain't running into. You know what? I don't know, man.
Cats?
I don't know.
Roderick said the Bobcats. This is funny too. So I mean,
the names are terrible always on themselves. There are only a few names in sports that are like good. Like,
and what's the sports team? What's the best sports team name ever?
Toronto Raptors. That's a great. That's
a great name. The Raptors.
The Raptors. That's a great name. That is a great name to me. And maybe it's just the logo and the colors and all of that. That may have a lot to do with it. But I think that's an appropriate, I mean, they don't exist on Earth while we do, but I think that's a pretty good name. I mean,
the Sea Kraken was pretty terrible. Roger makes a point.
Seattle Sea Kraken.
The best sports team name would have to be Chicago Bulls, man. Can't go wrong.
Bulls.
Yes.
I mean, it's only because Jordan was there.
Dominance, pure dominance.
I gotta go. I just gotta say that was solely because of one man. There's got to be other ones.
I always liked Orlando Magic. Like it was something about that team name
too. Yeah, I love the color.
It's original. I definitely agree with you, Q.
But it's because of Disney. Like theirs goes with Orlando. Like you come up with the Magic because of Disney. I mean, that's so yeah.
I like the Heat, Miami Heat. I think that's a cool name.
Yep, that's a cool name.
Yeah, it goes to Florida too.
They're all cooler than the Chiefs.
Stop it.
Oh man, dang. That's a whole other subject.
The New York Knickerbockers. All right.
So many things wrong with that name.
Yeah.
Enunciation is what comes to mind.
Now, AT&T Stadium among possible Super Bowl 56 replacement venue options.
Hate it.
Mm-hmm. You a hater. It's all good.
Yeah.
You don't care.
Yeah.
No
Yeah,
shots
'cause
at home.
I mean, as much as I would, love to attend, the festivities in LA, and I really, really would like to attend those, festivities. It would be good to go home. I mean, the last time it was there was what, about 10-ish years ago?
Yeah,
or less than that.
Houston. It was in Houston. No.
No, it was in Dallas.
5
It
years.
was in Dallas.
5 years ago.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. That's right. So yeah, I mean, why not?
Here's the thing. I don't think that it'll be moving from LA, no matter what the governor says. It's not going anywhere. The NFL it's a $1 billion company that is going to bring in so much revenue to those businesses that are in and around the Los Angeles area, right? I mean, you have restaurants, the malls, everybody is set to make money out there. And so I just don't feel like the governor, if he wants to be reelected, he better make the right decision. And I think he's going to make the right one. They will put in stiffer mask mandates than moving the game before they do that. So
yeah, definitely. I don't think the game's going anywhere. It pulls in far too much revenue for close to 14 days in any given city that the Super Bowl is in. So I definitely don't think it's moving. And I think that's that's putting pressure on the whole state, like you said, on the governor. I think Jerry Jones just comes out and says, hey, we're available just in case. And I think any stadium in the NFL would like to be available for that, especially if they do move. But I just don't see it moving.
And we're going to take a quick break. Coming up, we'll have our Hate It or Love It segment and kick it off with our sneakers of the week. This is the W Show. We'll be right back.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. On 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Come spin with us, Kansas City. KC We Spin 360 is the coolest 360 video spinner experience for events. KC We Spin 360 is taking it to the next level. The 360 video spinner platform rental will be the life of the party. Everyone will be talking about their 360 video experience while bragging about it on their social media pages. The captivating slow motion and reverse effects will have your guests feeling like celebrities. The KC We Spin 360 video spinner can capture slow-mo videos, GIFs, and boomerangs from every angle. Specializing in corporate events, weddings, social gatherings, bar bat mitzvahs, school events, and fundraisers, KC We Spin 360 can be found online at kcwespin360.com. Come spin with us, Kansas City.
Don't be depressed, frustrated, or stressed because of the loss of a loved one. Golden Gate Funeral and Cremation Services is here to assist you with a smooth, stress-free transition. It doesn't matter how your loved one transitioned, we will offer you a memorable celebration to your liking. We are a family-friendly, full-service funeral home right here in the heart of the city, offering affordable cremations and package pricing and quality service. Call us when you need us. 816-231-GATE. That's 816-231-4283. There's only one Golden Gate, located at 2800 East 18th Street, Kansas City, Missouri. Exchanging your grief for a golden experience.
You're tuned in to the W with Walls and the crew, where winning isn't everything. It's the only thing. 100.1 FM and Facebook Live.
Our show, please hashtag talk about it. Message us. We will talk about whatever topic you want.
Hate it.
It's that time for Love It or Hate It.
Hate it.
If we love it, we talk about it. If we hate it, we move on.
And our sneakers of the week, we have the Air Jordan 12 court purple.
13.
13. I'm sorry.
It's all good. You know, I'm a card-carrying member of the Jordan Club.
Yeah, I like these. Definitely love those.
Yeah, it's I like the purple on them, but the thing about it is I like 3M, the reflector. The original ones that came out, I think they were like the Mike Bibbies or something like that. They didn't have the 3M on it, which that takes away from the shoe if you ask me.
And that 3M is important for sure.
The Nike LeBron 9 Watch the Throw.
Sentimental value.
Yeah.
Sentimental value right here. Like, these are hard. He wore these in a season when they came out a long time ago. So yeah, these are dope.
Yeah, I wish I would have got these. These are going $700-800 right now online.
My personal favorite this week, the Nike Zoom Blazer Mid Acclimate.
I don't like that like felt material that they have on it. It's like, yuck.
Yeah.
Once that black gets dirty, it's gonna be nasty.
Yeah,
Steve, didn't you point these out one time? I thought you pointed these out. You're like
different colorways.
Different colorway. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely don't like those.
Last but not least, the Air Jordan 36 Sunset.
I'm feeling the colorway. That sunset is always I like the way the sunset colorway goes, but as far as shoe goes, I'm cool on these.
Nah, definitely cool on these.
I want to get a pair of these 36s though, because they look like they're like the cool hoop shoe, like comfortable hoop shoe. I stopped buying Jordan like in the number, sequence, like
in the 20s.
17. Yeah, I know. I stopped at 17. Like that was my senior year in high school, so I stopped at that and haven't bought any more past 17. So I think these would be pretty dope, especially the ones that Jason Tatum have in his player edition. So
him and Luka Doncic be having some cool colorways. I've noticed.
Now, Kansas City Royals second baseman Whit Merrifield said that negotiating a new collective bargaining agreement with MLB has been challenging because the ownership group has been inflexible and reluctant to engage. Hate it or love it.
I like that he came out and said this. I really do. For a player to speak out against his employer, right? I think that's huge, and especially to be a Royal as well. And I think they're going to stay locked out for a while. They're not even willing to sit down at the table, and have lunch and talk it out. So I think the MLB may not be starting in April at the start of the season.
Now, Alex Rodriguez could get his own version of the Manning cast as ESPN shakes up baseball coverage. Hate it or love it.
Look at baseball finally trying to pick up quit dragging their feet and start getting into what these other major sports are doing. Like the NBA has had the players only and all of that other good stuff. And then this year with the Manning cast, the NFL, they hopped in there. So good on baseball for finally trying to, get with the times.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, most of these leagues are going younger, right? That's how you pull in. We saw the NFL, how they pull in the Nickelodeon broadcast.
Amazing.
The NBA, they do a lot of stuff too. And so it's so much that could be done. They just have to get with the time. The changing of the guard, changing of the time, all that. If you want to pull in a younger fan base, you got to get some younger people in the front office to be able to help make those decisions.
No, definitely. Baseball is just a game that's just getting too old, and is really getting left behind. And I've said this about the NFL for the past like 3 or 4 years, that they're allowing time to move past them. And baseball is definitely in much worse condition than football. I mean, even though the players get paid handsomely, especially over the NFL, it's just tough watching the struggles that these players go through.
Now, Titans designate Derrick Henry to return from IR, making them an interesting playoff team. Hate it or love it.
Love it. Love it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming.
Oh,
But
man.
in all seriousness, though, he's been out for what 7-8 weeks. I just don't see him being a. If anything, he's going to be used as a decoy. If anything,
He's the best running back in the league. Let's not
look. Game shape is a different. The guys that are playing right now are in playoff mode, right? You're going to throw him back out there with having played in 8 weeks. That's tough to do, man. It's very tough.
Offer this as a
Well,
rebuttal.
you see guys coming back from COVID that have been out 2 and 3 days and don't have the win that they had before. So I think it's going to be a struggle at least the first game back.
Well, that's a respiratory disease, Steve. He doesn't have that.
He hasn't played. It's difference between training and then playing an actual football game. That's totally different.
Steve, I gotta tell you this, man. Like, he's been running the football tough for 3 years straight with like 350 plus carries each year. I think this is more of a good thing for him. Like, now he has his body can rest. Like, he wasn't getting hit every week. He was already in tremendous shape anyway.
Hey, you know where I'm from? It's called the show me state. I believe it when I see it.
You asking for the wrong thing. And of course, we'll say this for the Chiefs, they've had his number.
Yeah,
but the rest of the NFL hasn't. And I don't think whoever's playing the Titans, whenever they play their first, playoff game, whether it be this week or the next, or the opening week or the next, they don't want to see Derrick Henry.
Nobody wants week. They play in the opening week, no question about it.
All right, okay. Nobody wants to run into 6'4", 250 pounds of 4.3 speed. Nobody wants to run into that.
Yeah.
So I would offer that this is a great thing for the Titans, obviously, and a bad thing for the rest of the NFL.
Yeah, Steve, as a Chiefs fan, would rather not play teams at full strength anyway.
No, I'm good with it. The Chiefs haven't been stopping the run hasn't been their problem this season. The past couple of seasons just hasn't been. So I'm not really worried about it. I'm just for the simple fact that Derrick Henry is a good guy. I don't want to see him go out there not being able to put forth his 100% max effort.
Anyways,
now Heat's Marquise Morris takes shot at sloppy Nikola Jokic for scuffle neck injury. Hated or love it.
What did I say about accountability? At the
started it. He started it.
You gonna sit here and foul that man as hard as you possibly could, and he ain't go nowhere for real. So he said, "You know what? Let me show you what an actual foul looks like."
Yeah.
And now you mad, you calling him sloppy, and you just look like a clown, bro. Like, come on, get it together, bro. You better than that. You supposed to be one of the tough guys in the league.
Look, he's been out 30 games due to whiplash, right? Like, come on, bro. It just he's mad. That's all it is. It's like, all right, you got the best of me. And he's been like one of these low-key bullies in the league. And he thought was that he was gonna get it off real quick and say, all right, he ain't gonna do nothing. That's why he turned his back. And so Jokic said, "Oh, you must not know who I am."
Mm-hmm.
The Joker out here.
Why would you turn your back on somebody that you just tried to nail as hard as you could?
Right, trying to be that bully.
He found out.
Learn today, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hall of Famer Terrell Owens absolutely wants to replace Antonio Brown and join the Bucks. Hate it or love it.
I love it. You know what? I love it. I hope they do. I hope somebody gives Terrell Owens a deal, right? Just so it can be over and done with, and he can say he did it. But I mean, he's what, 48 years old, in better shape than me. So if anybody can go out there and do it, I think he can. But I don't know, man. He hasn't played football in 12 years.
Let's hear what he had to say.
That's tough. Yeah, I just think, we don't have the TO one, but I think he going out there and being able to do what these guys do week in and week out, I don't think he's gonna be able to do it. Q, what do you think?
No, I don't think at his age he's trying to go out there with these young boys in their 20s, and strap it up. It's a good idea, just like Jordan saying he could come back at any time, but no.
I don't think he wants the smoke, man. They gonna be trying to knock T.O. head off, man.
Knock his head off. He's a big guy too, so no.
Photo of Trayvon Martin was used in Ohio State meeting. Urban Meyer says he was unaware. Hate it or love it.
Hated it.
Yeah, there's no answer for that. I mean, like,
coaches always talk about how they know about everything going on in their program, unless it's something bad, and it's I had no idea. So
try to say
every single time. Every single time.
I'm not buying it.
Try to save face. And he put it on. I think it was like a grad assistant or a younger student or something that said that he had no idea of what the picture was. So
he had no idea. Okay.
Yeah.
What were they trying to get across with this picture? This random picture
that players shouldn't wear hoodies on their heads inside the facility.
So
I hope Urban Meyer never sees another single dollar from head coaching ever again, because
he will.
Of all the pictures on Google of a kid wearing a hoodie, that's the one you landed on.
Like,
come on, man. I don't buy that.
Hey, cruelty is the point.
This is supposed to be a leader of men, and the behavior you've exhibited for your entire career has been nothing less than despicable, honestly. And yet you continue to see jobs. It's honestly sickening. It's just terrible.
Fan sues Giants and Jets, demands both teams leave New Jersey and play home games in New York. Hate it or love it.
I love it. I love it. This dude got a lot of time on his hands. a lot of time. Like, come on, man. You gonna sue the two NFL teams because they in the wrong? Come on, bro.
I guess he's saying, since he's saying they're called the New York Giants and the New York Jets, he's saying since technically they're in New Jersey, like, is that what that's what he's on about?
Yeah, he wants he's trying to get $2 billion for in monetary damages and $4 billion in punitive damages against the teams, including false advertising and deceptive practices. It claims that the Giants and the Jets, basically fans, they've suffered mental and emotional damage, including depression, sadness, and anxiety. Come on, man, because the teams are in the wrong city.
Wow.
Reach.
If people don't have nothing else, they got the gall. the unmitigated gall, to quote Stephen A.
Yeah, the team issued a statement in response, declaring that this case has no merit and we would defend it vigorously. So,
well, good luck. LeBron said his goal is to still play in the NBA at the same time as Bronny James.
Yeah, this should have been top of Hate It or Love It. Should have been before Sneakers of the Week. But
no, I love it, man. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it happen. Yeah.
At this rate, they're gonna be He's gonna outplay Bronny at this point. Like, what's going on? But that'll be dope. That'll be a great moment for the NBA.
For sure. And LeBron and his wife Savannah took to Uninterrupted for an interview recently. Savannah said to be happy and find happiness in whatever it is that he does, whatever it is. I just want him to be happy. And LeBron's answer was a bit more specific. I want him to get to the NBA. I'm not even gonna lie. I want to be on the court with him. I think that would be an unbelievable moment.
Of course.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it, honestly.
It'll happen. It'll
Definitely.
LeBron will make it happen, even if it's not really supposed to happen. So
he got that kind of power.
He got that kind of clout. He got that kind of pull.
Okay.
Panthers willing to listen to offers for Christian McCaffrey. Hate it or love it.
They should.
Yeah, they should. Let that guy go. Let him go be hurt somewhere else.
I'm not saying this as a fantasy owner at all. And of course, I definitely didn't pick him with the number 1 overall pick in my fantasy league. But yeah, just
injury prone, man. He had 1-2 good seasons, and now he's just injury prone. Get rid of him while you can, while he has some kind of value.
Exactly. You just got to do it at some point, NFL running backs and all that jazz.
Yep. We appreciate everybody who joined in on today's show. Remember, you can catch a rewind of our show on Mondays. Until next week, we are out of here. Go Chiefs.
The views and opinions expressed in the W Radio Show by the hosts, co-hosts, guests, and call-in listeners are solely the opinions and responsibility of the original source who expressed them. They do not represent the opinions of the W Show, 100.1 FM, One Kansas City Radio, Sideline Sports Talk, Team Wall Street Foundation, or affiliates.